What's up, everybody? Good morning, Philly with John Marks on PHLY. As always, presented by BetParx. That is correct. We are live on a Thursday morning. If you're tuning in live on YouTube, our 8 a.m.ers to get involved in the chat and the show and everything else, we appreciate you. Come on down. It's a good time to be a listener, viewer of Philly with John Marks and all of our content on PHLY. You're damn right it is. We have a lot going on the program today. Just wanted to remind everybody right now, if you love draft coverage, and you know you love draft coverage, I love draft coverage, right? Right now, you can get Franny's, Fran Duffy, he put out what they call his monster mock draft. It's a 7-round mock draft. It's out right now. I was just looking at it. You have to be a diehard to get it. So what does that mean? Fran's monster mock draft, everything that we do right here on PHLY. And you watch the shows, but $36 to be a diehard. That gets you exclusive access. That gets you everything that you need and then some, if you are a Philadelphia sports fan. So I would say you need to do it right now. Allphly.com. It's $36 for the first year. That's $3 a month. And it's worth it just for the PHLY Eagles Top 100, which the guys, Fran, Bo, Zach, have put together, and it is incredible. It really is. I have it up here on a tab on my computer, and I use it, right? The Cruise Consensus Top 100 Prospects, curated specifically for the Eagles' needs in this draft. All prospects are listed in their positions, and then Fran has his positional rankings. You can click on each player for a scouting report. So again, $36 for the first year. Become a diehard. You get a T-shirt with it, and you get incredible sports coverage. That's at allphly.com. Hooah! So good morning to everybody out there. Phillies lose last night. I didn't even get to watch Aaron Nola in the first inning because I had softball practice last night. And because the games now start at 6:45, by the time that's like when I'm walking back in the door. So I'm walking in the door and it's like, all right, get something to eat, get upstairs and take a shower. And then, I'm kind of watching on my phone and I just see people melting down very early. And it's like, oh, this is not a good start to the game. So Aaron Nola came out. Let me say this, because I've been negative on Nola, according to a lot of people. And, it just depends on what you think of Aaron Nola. I think I've been very fair to Aaron Nola, and I'm giving a fair assessment of what I think Aaron Nola is and what he's going to be. But, not a lot of hard hit balls last night in the first inning. The leadoff batter, that was kind of off the end of the bat, but it was a base hit to left field. And then there was an infield hit. There was some weak contact that made it through the infield. His problem was that he couldn't command his pitches last night, and he walked 2 guys in the first inning. So he gives up a 4-burger, and then he settles down, and now he's mowing people down in the second inning, third inning, fourth inning. Get a lot of swings and misses on off-speed stuff. But Bryce Harper comes out in the bottom of the fourth and ties the game. So they come all the way back from being down 4-0 in the first inning, ties the game at 4, and then Aaron Nola promptly serves up 2 hits to start the next inning. And then Johan Rojas airmails the ball. It goes past JT Realmuto, and the runner scores. There's no outs in the inning, so the likelihood of that runner scoring was going to be there anyway. It's counted as an unearned run. The point is, Aaron Nola can't come out and give up a run there. But still, now they're down 5-4. The next inning, Nola comes out, melts down again, walking guys. He loads the bases, no outs, and he exits the game. Great start for Aaron Nola. So, Phils lose. Not just all about Aaron Nola last night. Bullpen, Ruiz came in, got out of the inning, gave up a couple of runs, and then they just fell apart late. but the offense wasn't there again. And I don't think you need to score 8, 9, 10 runs every night, but putting up 4 runs the way that the Phillies did last night, I mean, it's pretty much going to be over unless you're getting a great starting pitching performance from pretty much everybody on the staff except Taijuan Walker and Aaron Nola. There's something that is missing with this team right now. I worried about chemistry with the Phillies going into the season. I think we talked about it. I certainly talked about it on the air that Alec Bohm was on the trade market for a couple of different reasons. And I think the main reason was they had just grown tired of his immaturity, of his behavior. Doesn't make him a bad guy. But when I say they, it's not just Dave Dombrowski and Rob Thompson. You don't think the players, if they were looking to trade Alec Bohm and it was kind of circled that this is the reason why, you don't think this also comes from the clubhouse and the players and the veteran players? So now you're running it back with essentially the same team this year, and they tried to trade him. They tried to make some moves. It didn't end up working out. You bring in Kepler, but it's essentially the same team, and it very much looks like the same team that really struggled in the playoffs offensively. And is it a chemistry issue? Is it just one of these periods in baseball that's not necessarily tangible and it's tough to put your finger on exactly what it is? Something doesn't feel right out there. Phillies are still 10-8, 18 games into a 162-game season, and it's a long season. We know that. I don't know. It just there's a weird feeling to this team right now, and I'm wondering if there's not maybe some chemistry things. If Rob Thompson, is his message being received by the team, or is it now? You know how it works with managers and coaches in sports. You get results right away. He came in, took over for Joe Girardi. You saw instant results. They've been really good with Rob Thompson. Is it now like, all right, whatever, like he supports us and he's always going to have our back. Like, all right, Alec Bohm, I can't stand him. Or like, holy crap, Brandon Marsh stinks. Or like Rojas is like, we need a center fielder, right? They have 2 AAA outfielders, it looks like right now. And then they have Kepler. And then they have a professional in Castellanos. And Kepler's look better, so I'm not going to overreact with that. But just not a very good baseball team right now. Not playing very good baseball. So if you don't get a dominant pitching performance or a very good starting pitching performance, you're not winning a lot of these games. And that's, again, what you saw last night. So Phil's 10-8. Good news. 4:05 today, we get back at it with Chris Sanchez. And I love watching Chris Sanchez. Much more than Pat Egan likes watching Aaron Nola. I love watching Chris Sanchez pitch. He's awesome. And I expect the Phillies to win and split the series today against the Giants. But, yeah, just a frustrating game last night. Aaron Nola, listen, I guess by calling him a rich man's Joe Blanton or calling him the Joe Blanton of this rotation, I got what I guess I should have expected the response to be. It's not what I was necessarily looking for. My point was that he's the 4th starter at best on this team, and his stuff has regressed. The velocity's down. The numbers show it. I saw Bob Wankel put this out there from Crossing Broad. Since the start of the 2023 season, Aaron Nola has made 69 regular season starts, and his ERA is 4.15. Not a small sample size, 69 starts since 2023. And he was much better in 2024 than he was in 2023. And he hasn't been good so far this year. I still think when it's all said and done, the back of the baseball card is going to be what you see with Aaron Nola. Maybe it's the every other year Aaron Nola where he's not good. He'll be good one year. He won't be good the next year. He'll be pretty good one year. He'll be pretty not good the next year. I just think this is Aaron Nola. Though I don't necessarily want to focus on the future, because I've been on record for a long time saying I would have never given him the contract that the Phillies gave him, just because I think his stuff regresses, and the first 3 year of a 7-year contract's not worth the last 4. If you were getting better pitching from Aaron Nola in the first 3 years, like, all right, maybe you can bite the bullet and you're getting league average the last 4 years, or below league average the last 4 years. So Bryce Harper hit a home run. He's starting to heat up a little bit. Unfortunately, any momentum they've been able to grab in some of these games is just given up immediately. Poor defense. Brandon Marsh still hasn't had a hit since Washington, right? It's frustrating to watch. It's frustrating to watch because, I mean, really last night, the Giants, Robbie Ray, their starting pitcher, he walked 4 guys in the first inning. You got to get more than 2 runs in that inning. They let Robbie Ray off the hook multiple times last night. And then the Giants kind of pulled away. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. They can't get him home. I know this happens with all teams, and it drives you nuts. I don't know if it happens more with the Phillies than a regular team. We should get the baseball bot, Tyler Zulli, to get on that. But Sosa fouled out last night with a runner on third base. But they just don't seem to have any life right now. There's no energy. It just kind of looks like, I don't want to say going through the motions, but like they're going through these early season motions of it's cold as hell out, it's windy, the weather's been terrible, and they just don't look like, I mean, this is 18 games in. I know the season's a grind. It already feels like it's a grind for this team. So just, they're struggling to find their identity, and it takes time. It takes time. I know that. I know what these seasons look like. In 2009, the Phillies were not good for a lot of that season. They were right around 500 for a lot of that season, and then they ended up winning, I think, 92 games and went to the World Series. But I can't just sit here and say it's a long season, I'm not going to worry about it. We got to talk about the team every day, and right now they're pretty difficult to watch. This portion of the program brought to you by GLAT Hair Restoration, GLATHairMM.com, 610-980-4000. I'm due for a freshie today up at Razor Bar in Wayne, who, by the way, always have PHLY on. They're watching the programs that we have here, so shout out to them right now if it's on before the shop opens. Tyler Zulli, good morning. PHLY Phillies and Philly with John Marks. Tyler, how are you?
I'm okay. I said last night, John, that was the probably one of the worst professional baseball games I've watched in quite some time. And you know me, I'm not hyperbolic. I don't really go to the extreme. That was a terrible baseball game last night. And I don't mean just from the Phillies. I mean, it was a bad baseball game, period. Then you brought up the fact that they scored 4 runs last night. And it was 4-4 at one point. Bryce Harper ties the game, kind of brought a little bit of juice to the ballpark that was really dead throughout, and rightfully so. Weather was crap. Game was crap. Wasn't a lot of fun. My thing with 4 runs has always kind of been my threshold of like, if you get to 4, you should probably win that game a decent bit. You get to 5 or 6, you should win that game 80% of the time, right?
Right.
Like the turn from 4 to 5 is kind of right where I sit with this becomes it feels like you could win to it feels like you should win.
Right.
Last night was really frustrating because you used the phrase they let him off the hook. They let Robbie Ray off the hook quite a few times last night. The first inning, and I think people were frustrated that they didn't score more. Like, they got 2. I'm not going to sit and complain. They did have 2 RBIs with runners in scoring position. Now, it was because Ray couldn't throw strikes, and they walked twice, but they did score 2 runs in that first inning, cut into the lead a little bit. But I think people wanted more, and I think they have a right to want more when the guy was as bad as he was in the first inning. But it wasn't just the first inning that was troublesome. Last night, they left more runners on base. Last night, they left more runners in scoring position. You brought up a series of events. It was a pop-up in foul territory by Edmundo Sosa and a ground out to end the inning, and they left runners in scoring position. John, the Phillies right now, in terms of leaving runners in scoring position, have left the 4th most runners in scoring position across all of baseball, 4.1 per game. Only the Cubs, Cardinals, and Blue Jays have left more runners in scoring position per game. They also ranked 5th in runners left on base, period, at almost over 15.5. Only the Cubs, Cardinals, Blue Jays, sensing a theme here with the 3 teams that are ahead of them. And the Padres, which is kind of surprising because they've been unbelievable to begin the season. But only 4 teams have left more runners on base total than the Phillies have. So what that tells me is their bats have been decent, right? They've walked a ton this year, which is something we've asked for, was to see more pitches, have better plate discipline, have better chase rates. But they're getting on base, but they're not producing when they do get on base.
No, runners in scoring position has been terrible.
And last night, 90% of the time, if you score 4, I go, okay, you have a chance to win. Last night, they scored 4 and didn't have a chance to win.
Yeah.
And that's what frustrates me is because you had an opportunity to crush a starting pitcher who was terrible in the first last night. And you got a couple, but you didn't get nearly as many as you probably should have.
All right, so here's my question. Because they're 10-8, that's 18 games. Not a large sample size. What would you say, and I'm going to go over 2 seasons because we only have 18 this season. How many games would you say, sample size, can we say like, all right, I don't know if I believe in forward momentum in sports from one season to the next.
Sure.
Like maybe this much, but like I do believe in the other side of it, which is, all right, this team struggled and was not good post All-Star break, and now this is kind of the same thing that we're seeing this year. Like how many games?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a tough argument to have because I do believe like it doesn't trend one season to the next in total. You should have a fresh slate, but there is merit to say, well, this is how you struggled in the back end of last season, and then you struggle again. Now they're 10-8, so they've won more games than they lost to the first 18, but the last 3 series have been
all right,
troubling, no doubt.
So. How about 100 games? What do you think the Phillies?
That's plenty.
What do you think the Phillies' record over the last 100 games is?
I would say they're probably right around 50-50.
You would be correct.
Because I believe they were 40-40 to end the year.
They were,
and they're 10-8 now. You're talking about 50-48 through the last 98 games.
51-49 in their last
right.
100 games, so 2 games over 500. Of anything that I've seen. And Aaron Nola's starts and his ERA since whatever. Ultimately, I think Aaron Nola is going to be the Aaron Nola that a lot of us expect. He's going to drive us crazy when he's not good. He's going to go through periods where it's like, wow, like he had a really good month. He pitched 6 or 7 innings every time out there. But last 100 games being 2 games over 500 is an indictment of where this team is right now. And it's troubling. It is. Because, like, where's the up? Here's my question. Where's the upside in this lineup right now? I can sit here and bitch about Aaron Nola. The starting pitching's not the problem on this team right now.
No.
At all. So where's the upside in this lineup right now? Schwarber's an all-star level player. He's going to hit a lot of home runs. Harper's an all-star level player. He's going to be a good hitter. Castellanos is a solid, above-average starter for the most part. Then what do you got? Are we counting Bohm in this? Are we counting Trey Turner as being a good offensive player?
Well, one of the things that I was thinking about yesterday, and I understand Robbie Ray, lefty, tough on lefties. Bryson Stott has struggled against lefties. So you go to Trey Turner at the leadoff spot, and I'm okay with that. I don't have any problem with that, with the righty to lead things off against the lefty. I think Stott's put together some really good at-bats over the last couple of nights.
He's looked all right.
And I know he has last year had struggled against lefties more than he ever had, maybe except for in the first year, but the second year he was much better against left-handed pitching. I think his at-bats have been better. At one point he was seeing the most pitches in all of baseball. I don't know if I'm taking him out of the lineup last night, even against the lefty. I think maybe I push him down to let Turner lead off, but I'm not sure. But that, like, I'm just.
But they also, like, they're trying to get Sosa at bats.
Sure.
They didn't want to take Bohm out because then it looks like they're benching Bohm. They don't want to take Turner out because he's their all-star level player. So I think that's why they did it. To your point, I think Stott has upside. Like, if you're looking for a player that can be like, wow, like he's having a really good year. Let's say Stott has his bats 270 with 17 home runs and 70 yards. Like, he could have a year where it's like, wow, he's been really good. Who else on this team's going to have that year? Kepler, maybe?
That's fair to ask.
JT's not having that year. I'm just telling you. He's not having that. I think JT can be a productive catcher, and he's still really good at throwing out base runners, really good. But is JT having the year that we expected, or like his first year in Philly? I don't know. And by the way, Marchand, I couldn't wait to get subs out of here. Marchand, I mean, I don't want to, like, it's tough when you only get 1 start a week, or you get like 3 or 4 at bats a week. It seems like he strikes out all the time with runners on base or the bases loaded. Did again last night. So, nobody's really stepping up for this team right now, and it's what they need. All right, coming up, more Phillies conversation with Violations Greg. Last week, I was sanding the bottom of my feet and my cracked heels and my toes.
Yeah, that might have been the grossest thing you've done on the air since you and I have started working together, was bring that sander out.
There's a belt sander for my feet.
Yeah, basically.
Well, there's no prop this week, but we do have some props for some offbeat conversations. But I got to talk to Violations Greg. I got a ton of crap from Anthony and Greg on Friday about when I jumped on their show when I was trying to leave here about Aaron Nola. And they're like, all you Nola apologists out there, I don't want to hear it. Just trust me, I don't want to hear it. because I'm fair and balanced. I'm not like these cable stations when it comes to politics. I'm fair and balanced when it comes to Aaron Nola. And when I say he's a good starter, and I get people that are like, oh, he's better than a good starter. No, he's not. He's a good starter. Let's just leave it at that. So I want to hear Violations Greg after last night's start with Aaron Nola. Coming up after this, and we have some other things to do with Violations Greg. That's coming up. Philly, John Marks, don't go anywhere. If you go anywhere, you're crazy, man. Don't go anywhere. All right, let's talk about it. Empire Today. Man, I wish I knew about Empire Today when I was getting flooring, because it was like, listen, not a hassle, but I can't also tell you that I was completely satisfied in my flooring experience, right? And that's what you're going to get with Empire Today, because they're bringing the showroom to you. Talking about flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. Don't go to the big box store, because Larry, who's selling dishwashers, might come over to try to help you with your flooring because they don't have anybody working in your section, all right? Empire Today lives and breathes flooring. They're with you every step of the way. Listen, it's a whole different ballgame. You pick the right flooring and the right colors for your space, and then you see how it looks with your furniture in your home. That's right. They're coming to you, taking precise measurements and having all of your questions answered so there's no surprises. So if you like what you see, they take the measurements, they put it in the software, they take a picture of exactly what you like, and it's like, wow, I really like the way that looks. You can schedule installation as soon as the next day. That's right. All-inclusive pricing, clear, upfront, no surprises, and you can save $350 by using promo code PHLY. That's correct. Go to empiretoday.com/PHLY for full details. Restrictions do apply. Use the code PHLY, remember, for that $350 discount. Dedicated flooring professionals. Get with them. Empire Today. Hooah. All right, Ashley. Listen, you in the market for a new dining room set? Check. How about some new bedroom furniture? Check. What about some new deck furniture? Check. Now's the time to do it with Ashley. The low prices are blooming. Spring into savings at Ashley. Up to 50% off living rooms, bedrooms, and dining rooms. And you don't have to rent the U-Haul and back it up and then load it on there. It's delivered for free. And this is what I do with everything. Long-term, no-interest financing. I don't have any money. So, yeah, I need new furniture. What am I going to do? Ashley, save on top brand mattresses and get free delivery setup and removal. They get it out. But don't wait. Spring into savings now at Ashley, South Jersey, and Philadelphia. Financing with approved credit. Minimum purchase required. Some exclusions may apply. See store for complete details. Hurry to Ashley. Visit ashleyfurniture.com for more information. Hooah. We're back. Violations Greg is in transit right now. He just texted me and said he'll be here in 3 minutes.
So, John, my wife and I had some furniture delivered from Ashley probably about a week ago now.
Really?
I swear to you. And we bought it before Ashley even became a sponsor of ours.
I have bought Ashley furniture
before, it was really good furniture. It was a good price. Do you want to know how long they were in my apartment for when they delivered it?
20 minutes. Less.
Probably about 7. They got the stuff in, situated it where we wanted to. They were out. It was like a seamless effort. I mean, it was, and it's, we went from like the college, the furniture we had in our college dorm rooms to like real life adult furniture.
You guys are adults.
Yes. Yeah, like we're grown adults now. The change in so it was all bedroom. It was 2 dressers, like a couple dressers for our bedroom. Our bedroom looks like adults live there now, as opposed to like, the back end of the dressers falling down, and it's so much nicer.
You feel like an adult.
Yeah, I feel like I'm actually a functioning adult now.
Congratulations. Yep, it's a good feeling. It is. I'll tell you something else about you mentioned the delivery. Like a lot of times when you go places and you're like, oh, like I could do that as a job. Like when I go to Wegmans and there's the cart guys, like I want to retire to be a cart guy or a lifeguard in like Ventnor. I want to be a lifeguard in my 60s.
I would do cart guy from like April till June and then like September till October. I don't want to do it in the snow, and I don't want to do it in 95-degree weather.
Yeah, those guys work hard during those periods.
It's a thankless job too.
But I kind of want to I want to do a web series, put a GoPro on me as I'm dragging carts everywhere. But when the guys bring in like I'll get a dishwasher delivered or a refrigerator, and they have like that thing where they like carry it on their back, or they're carrying this friggin' 400-pound dresser and they're taking it up the steps, and it's like, hey, I'm not built to do that, man. Absolutely not. Those guys, that's a tough job.
That's lifting for the day. That is the gym for you.
Or like movers. This is where you really become an adult, where you don't move anymore. You pay somebody to move for you.
I've told my wife the next time we move, because the next time we move, I'm like praying that the next time we move is to a home, like a house.
Yeah.
I'm saying we're hiring people. I'm not doing this. The last time we did it, we finished at 2:30 in the morning. I'm not doing it again. Moving sucks. We're hiring people. I'm spending the money.
Yeah. Yep. Smart move by you. All right. Well, Greg's coming up here in a second. The draft is now a week away. If you missed Fran yesterday, he was awesome, and they have the J.D. McGillicuddy's tonight. Him and Anthony at 6 p.m. With their draft special. They're going to argue about Jackson Dart, but they're going to talk about I actually like this draft because there's it's very tough to focus on what the Eagles are going to do because they don't have a lot of needs. They're not picking high in the first round, and they're coming off a Super Bowl. So I think maybe like a little bit of above average Eagle fan, while they may like the draft, when you're like, oh man, we need a running back. Oh my God, we need a quarterback. They need a wide receiver, right? Like Devontae Smith, and there's a bunch of great wide receivers. The focus was the wide receiver, and then it's like, well, do we want this guy? Do we want that guy? What do you do? In this draft, it is very, very much different than a lot of drafts here. But it doesn't mean that they can't come out of this draft being productive, because they need players. They really, really do. They need players on their defensive line. If you look at how you let Javon Hargrave leave, it's because a guy like Milton Williams steps in and becomes a very productive player, almost like a Pro Bowl level player. Was the way he was playing by the end of the season and in the playoffs. Josh Sweat leaves. He's a former draft pick, a former third-round draft pick. So the focus on being a first-round draft pick and a second-round draft pick is great, but also when you look in the meat of this draft, they have a first, they have a second, they have a third. Remember, all of these picks are at the end of the round. So this isn't a high second-round draft pick or a mid-second-round draft pick, although Howie could trade up or he could trade back to trade up, whatever. You're really looking at that fourth round where they have 4 fourth-round draft picks. I don't expect them to use them all, but at least one of those guys needs to be one of these players when you have a Jalen Carter that's making $35 million a year, $40 million a year, where they're entering year 2, year 3 of their contracts, and they're starters, and they're making contributions to where you don't have to plug these holes by paying veterans in free agency. So I'm excited to see what the Eagles are able to do in the draft. I would expect, because even when you look at their depth chart, they don't have they can't add a ton of players, right? But I would expect a number of defensive linemen between defensive tackle and edge rushers, maybe 3, a safety, and then maybe a corner. I can't see them adding a wide receiver, certainly a tight end they're going to need to add, but all right, they also signed a couple tight ends in the offseason. So I don't think they have to necessarily add at any position. I'm sure they have guys that they have highlighted and circled, and they're hoping they're going to be there. Or if they're not there, then they have other guys where they trade back. One thing I know for sure, and it wasn't that long ago. Tyler, how many years ago where it was the bitching and complaining about Howie Roseman was he doesn't know how to draft?
Yeah, 4 years ago, I think something like that.
Now look at him.
I mean, I think so. I remember I was at the Fanatic at the time, and I was doing a Saturday or Sunday morning 6 a.m. show, and I came out spitting venom at Howie Roseman because I was just infuriated with the lack of success in the draft. And then 2 days later, or a week later, or whatever it was, they make the move to move up to get to 6 with the Dolphins, and then they trade back. I forget whatever the move was, and they end up. I think they end up with Devontae Smith that year. Was that the?
Yeah, they moved back, then they moved back up, and they got their player. Yeah.
And so I was that I remember that year being this is a make or break season for Howie Roseman. If he doesn't figure this thing out, we might be talking about a new general manager. And since then, it's been far more hits than it's been misses, and we've all kind of changed our tune again. and come back to the other side of loving what Howie Roseman's done. I mean, his draft classes over the last couple of years, last year specifically, have been really, really good.
All right, so put up INS's comment right there. Jalen Reagor is an ancient history. J-Jaw. Yeah, but so what year was that? So Jalen Reagor was 2020.
Reagor would have been 2020 because that's when Justin Jefferson
J-Jaw was
drafted.
2019.
Yeah.
That's 4 and 5 years ago. Here's how I'm giving Howie Roseman credit. He freaking learned from his mistakes. I don't know if that means he's relying on his staff more, or he just said, I'm going to take good college players. I'm not going to reach on a guy that looks like he's got the measurables.
Well, so you brought up Milton Williams, and I think it's a really good spot to get a player that can play a little bit immediately and then develop, right? That third-round pick that they used on Milton Williams. First year, rotational guy, played a little bit. Next year, a little bit more. Third and fourth year. By last year, he was a massive contributor to this team. I think the Eagles can do the same thing in the third round, or around that area. I think and there's enough defensive tackle help. There's enough edge rush help. I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're immediate starters, but if they can bring a guy along similar trajectory to what they did with Milton Williams, I think they have the ability to do that and let that guy grow at his own pace.
Yeah, and he put Derek Barnett, who, by the way, contributed on a Super Bowl team. Devontae Smith, Landon Dickerson, Milton Williams. Jordan Davis, Cam Jurgens, Nakobe Dean. Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Tyler Steen, Tanner McKee. Ojimo, who was the 7th-round draft pick. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jalen Hunt. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. It's almost impossible to be that good just at the top of the draft. As Violations Greg joins us for his usual Thursday segment, unless we're not in studio on Thursday, and then he joins us.
What's up, brother?
Love that Phillies hat.
Sorry I'm a little late today. Traffic was a disaster.
You're okay, brother. It's all good. Love that Phillies hat.
Thanks.
Powder blue. Don't love what I'm seeing from the team right now. You weren't down at the Bryce Harper looks like he's skiing in Vermont with the thing over his face and his ears. I mean, I know it was cold. It's cold, I know.
Yeah.
They're playing like it's that cold out
Exactly. Yeah. It's a miserable night.
You know what they're playing like? You know when you get the finesse team that, like the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are looking great down in Florida when it's hot, rhythm passers. Then they go to Buffalo and it's 10 degrees out, and they look like they don't want to play.
Yeah.
That's what the Phillies have won.
I think this is a big day. They haven't played one game over 75 degrees, have they, all season?
Well, it is April.
Come on, man. Get over an away game to someplace nice. I don't know.
All right, it's early.
Yeah. Are you bugging?
No, I'm not bugging. It's
Good.
early. It's early. You got to put it in quotes because that's what you have to say.
Gets late quick.
But it's true. It is. Last 100 games. And you were in transit, so you didn't hear it. What do you think the Phillies' record is in the last 100 games?
One game below 500.
You guys are good. Close. 51 and 49.
Okay. Oh, they're good. They're in the positive. They're above 500.
Right. But
Perfect.
they're not a playoff team 2 games over 500. I guess my point is that they were here, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's slowly been, and then it started going like this last year. And then it's like, all right, now you're here. With this starting pitching, they should sleepwalk to 88 wins and make the playoffs.
They'll still get 90 wins. You don't think?
Bro,
what was their record at this point last year? Probably about the same.
Who is your offensive upside player? And you're right. When the weather gets better, they'll smash home runs. But when they can't smash home runs, they struggle to score runs. Like a lot of teams in Major League Baseball.
That's how baseball is, right?
I get it. But that's not a lot of the good teams. And that's the problem.
It's all the good teams are smashers.
But okay.
The Padres, sometimes the Padres can play small ball. But other than that, they're smashers, aren't they?
They were 10-8 through 18 games in 2024.
All right, they're right there.
I know, but the previous year were they just over 500, or were they 500 the previous year leading into that? I don't necessarily believe in forward momentum, but at some point, when are you just going to say this team is what it is? Same thing with your boy Aaron Nola. Now I left here at this show on Friday, and I'm just trying to go home for the weekend, and I get pulled into the Anthony Gargano show, and I get just lambasted about Aaron Nola.
Deservedly so with the Joe Blanton comps.
But it's the rich man's Joe Blanton. It's not he's Joe Blanton. Obviously, Aaron Nola is a better pitcher than Joe Blanton.
Okay.
All right, what do you think Aaron Nola's ERA is since the beginning of 2023?
4.03.
It is not. Hold on, I'm pulling it up. It's a good guess. Very close. It is 4.15.
Okay.
69 regular season starts. He's 4.15 ERA.
Yep.
So, like, that's all 2023. That's all 2024. And that's his first however many starts here. He's 0-4 now in the season. So his first 4 starts this year.
Yep.
Ultimately, I think
Half the losses. Oh, my God.
I think by the time we reach August, he's probably a 4 ERA or a high 3 ERA or maybe like a 4.3 or something like that.
Okay.
He's going to take the ball in a lot of innings. Yeah, but like if that's fine for you, that's not fine for me.
Why?
He's under contract, so he's not going anywhere. I'm not telling you that he can't serve a purpose in a rotation, but when you sign a guy to a contract like that, you're not serving a purpose. You're supposed to be signing a great pitcher or an above average pitcher.
Great pitchers
or
get
an
paid.
all-star level
Great
pitcher.
pitchers get paid $40 million. They don't get paid $24 million.
But it's not like Bryce Harper got paid $30 million because he wanted the full total of $330. The same thing happened with Trey Turner.
Bryce was pretty high contract when they signed. It wasn't the highest, but he was right there.
But it's only because it was 13 years. Aaron Nola got 170 because that's the money he wanted, but they said we can't do it. We have to space it out over 7 years. This is not a good value contract right now. You can find pitchers like Aaron Nola, maybe that aren't as consistent. You can find them. They've been able to find 3 really good starters for this rotation. I don't want to. I'm really not trying to be negative on Nola. You bring it out of me because I was kind of defending him at the beginning of the season. You bring it out of me because you can't face the fact you can't face the you and Anthony. Oh, his stuff's not regressing. Are you watching the games with your eyes open?
It's April. Listen, man, he should have been out of that inning with 1 run. Defense didn't help him. There's a bad call by the umpire. Again, it's been like 3 straight games.
Not a lot of hard hit balls, and I said that.
The way the defense
early.
was positioned, though, they were out of position. I don't know what they were doing. The one that Trey Turner should have had, he should have been out of the inning with 1 run. And then he went on for the next 4 or 5 innings. It was legit, man. He had like 9 Ks, 8 Ks.
Bigger issue with this team is the offense because we don't have to talk about starting pitching most nights because the starting pitching is good. The offense is
they can't hit
right
the cold.
now.
That's just it. They just can't.
It's not hitting season, as Charlie would say.
It's not even close.
All right.
Starts next week.
We get a couple. The weather is going to get a little nicer.
See some 70s coming. Be nice.
All right. So a couple things here with you. All right. So I was on Wednesdays I do a 12 o'clock noon class at the Orange Theory Fitness in Collegeville.
All right.
And the great thing about Orange Fitness is
now we enter the Pee-wee's Playhouse realm.
Right. Yeah. I have a couple things for that.
Sweet.
But so the music is very important. Like I mean, I don't know about you as far as working out or whatever, but
I don't work out.
I know you don't. If you get the proper curated playlist, it can really help you where it's like, all right, like you feel like you're going to die and this song comes on and you're like,
I love it. Yeah.
So yesterday, Best of Battle from Karate Kid, the climax song from You're the Best of Battle.
Yeah.
No one's ever going to keep
Is that what it is? You're the best. It's not the best. You're the best of battle.
You're the best of battle.
Okay.
Yes.
You're the best
of battle.
Okay.
No one's gonna keep you down. All right. So I'm gonna
get you moving.
Oh, bro, I was
you like
flying on the treadmill.
Out, tie something around your head, start going nuts.
I put it up on 8 on the treadmill, man, and I was floating.
Is on the treadmill? It plays through the treadmill?
Hold on. Do you think the line is you're the best of battle?
Isn't that what it is?
It's you're the best around.
Yeah, I didn't think it was the best of battle.
It's the best around.
Yeah, nothing's going to ever keep you down, like around and down kind of rhyme type of thing.
That's syllabically. That's better. You're the best.
Well, it's You're the Best is the name of the song. You're the best around. You get I thought it was You're the Best.
You're in your head, man. You're like a Power Ranger.
So the other song, because I love because that like it.
So it's on the treadmill or on your phone?
No, it's on the. So the Orange Theory classes are.
Tell me how these gyms work.
You do half of the time. Well, it depends. Like yesterday was half of the time on the floor doing
Kegels?
like weightlifting and things like that, and like
weightlifting on the floor.
So there's the floor where you have weights and things like that, and you're doing burpees and push-ups and straps and free weights and things like that, and then you go over to the treadmill, and then you're doing like 6 minutes of like 7 on the treadmill. Then you're doing a minute on the treadmill. Then you're walking for a minute. Then you're doing 5 minutes of like high intensity on the treadmill. Then you're walking for a minute.
Is that the high ITT workouts or
HIIT
something?
workout, high intensity interval training.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. So it's good. But anyway, so that song came on.
Okay.
So here's my favorite. Which do you believe is better? And it's an 80s movie, Teen Wolf. You remember the song at the end of the...
No, absolutely not.
Huh?
No.
What's wrong with Teen Wolf?
No, Teen Wolf's a good movie. I have no idea the closing song of Teen Wolf, though.
We can't play it because we'll get copyrighted.
We'll sing it. We can sing it.
Win in the end.
Win in the end?
In the end. Win in the end, yes.
Who sings that?
Nobody that you ever
You may
ever
have
heard
the
of.
worst music taste of anyone I know if these songs get you jazzed up.
Win in the end,
No
Teen
Iron
Wolf.
Maiden, no Judas Priest, no AC/DC?
No, none of those things.
Teen Wolf's closing song.
Yes, they're
like
the
an anthem.
It's the 80s anthem,
It's
the
an
climax
anthem.
of the movie. Michael J. Fox is like he won't be the werewolf,
Right.
And they would win, so he's got to be a little white guy,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
got to win, and he's like shooting the free throws.
Great
stripping off
scene.
him.
Music never really stuck with me. It's like, man.
From the 80s movies.
No, from Teen Wolf. Yeah, from other 80s movies. Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink. Yeah,
Breakfast Club.
great songs.
Great song.
Teen
Great
Wolf
songs.
closing anthem. No.
One year for Halloween,
Who sang it?
I don't need this. Mark Saffin. Well, who sung the Rocky theme?
Oh, who sang it?
Yeah, who's the Rocky? You don't know. They're doing a score for a movie.
It's Mark Conti.
There you
Yes.
go. There you go.
Yeah, but it's not some
I
famous...
know the name. You're like, oh yeah, Mark Conti, not Jason. Who's
You
Seymour?
only know Mark Conti because it's Rocky and you live in Philadelphia.
Sure. I mean,
all right.
Breakfast Club, Simple Minds is that? I don't know. We've heard of these bands. Jason Sehorn, I don't know as a singer.
All right. I was in
Markel Fultz is always great. John listens to the Maniac. Now that would be. I would love to see you working out the Maniac from the Flashdance.
Yeah.
See, that's a good song from a movie.
He's a maniac,
Yeah.
Harry back. That's a parody song I came up with one time. I forget about who. Yeah, no, Footloose. Because I also have a rental car right now because I'm getting repairs on my car. And it's,
Long-term repairs?
like a day,
Okay.
more than a day. So they have the Sirius that's in there,
Yeah.
Sirius XM, and like I'm listening to a lot of 80s and 90s, and I
80s
love
on
them.
8, 90s on 9.
Oh man, it's killer. The problem with Sirius is when you have it for a month and you hear every song like 50 times over and over, and you're like, oh, Sirius sucks. Why am I paying for this?
I love it.
But I heard Footloose yesterday.
Okay. Let me get you moving.
That could get me moving.
Suddenly
on the
you're going 5
treadmill.
miles per hour faster. Yeah.
All right, so I'm in Delco last week,
Okay.
and my in-laws are in Delco. My wife's from Delco.
Oh,
and
were you
so
married Delco?
I did.
No, no complaining no matter what. You've asked for that. You're married into Delco.
So we get takeout, and I'm always the designated person to pick up takeout, which is
Yeah.
fine with me because it gets me
Yeah.
out of the house. And so it's a tipping question because her dad's always like, I'm paying. This is my house.
Yeah.
So you go to it, and it's like, all right, so I'm ordering online. It's like tip for pickup, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
I'm a generous tipper when it comes to whatever. Like, so the suggestion is 15%, and it was like 100. I think the bill was like 100. It was 100 and some odd
Hey,
whatever.
you guys are eating.
Well, there's 6 of us, 6 adults.
Yeah, it's like $20. What are you guys getting?
Well, it's not pizza. We were getting from I forget the name of the restaurant, but it was good. It was like
Entrees?
yeah, but they were like smaller. What was it? Sedona Tap House.
Okay.
Which is really good, but they're small. Anyway, so like it's like he's trying to give 15% or whatever it was, and I'm like, it's $23 tip. Like, no,
That's too much for pickup.
like, and I don't even know the setup inside. And you go, and it's like, all right, I'm giving these people $23 on top of like that's not a waitress salary or a server salary. They're making a real salary because it's pretty much the host station, the takeout people, and they were very efficient.
But there are bartenders and servers at this Sedona?
No. You're going right into the hostess, and then everything's
but
being
there are
funneled through them.
bartenders who work there and servers who work there?
Yeah, but they're not putting it together for me.
Yeah,
They're
they probably
not.
pool their tips. Oh, no, but they probably all pool their tips.
Well,
you're helping them out.
Here's my point.
Yeah.
I ain't giving $23
that's
for a
too much
takeout or
for takeout.
like a flat $10
$10
would
is
be
good for takeout.
Yes, you agree.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's a nice fair takeout tip, $10.
Tyler, $10 on like 150.
Yeah, I think takeout is a much lower tip. And I get it, VG, you're right. Like they probably do pool their tips. I anytime somebody brings me my food, that's where the 20-25% comes in. Anytime I'm going to get my food, yeah, it's a lower percentage for sure.
Yeah, $5-10 for pickup.
Fine. Yeah. No, to me, that's a bonus. That's a nice.
That's good. Yeah,
it's a nice.
Yeah, no one can complain about that.
That's because you're getting an hourly wage. All right, last thing. I had posted this yesterday, but somebody I went to school with just randomly sent me these pictures on Instagram from like when we played sports together.
You played sports?
Yeah. See, shut up. And I look like there it is right there. So the one on the right is. That's 7th and 8th. If you're listening on audio version, it's a 7th and 8th grade Upper Moreland Basketball Association picture.
You guys look like some players.
So upper right, Todd Kokesberger actually was the leading scorer in Upper Moreland High School history. He could really ball.
He's got good size.
And then his little brother, who is seated all the way to the left, that's Keith. He was also very good. Now the other guys, maybe not so much, but and I was I was probably
Where
like.
Where are you in this picture?
You tell me.
I say bottom right.
Bottom right's me, correct.
Okay, yeah.
I look the same.
You guard?
Well, I wasn't a center, at being probably the second shortest guy on the team.
Well, I don't know. You could have been taller back then and just stopped growing.
That could happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then on the left-hand side, that is probably like the same age, but I made the second row. I wasn't one of the shortest guys on the team in baseball. That's Karin Duff. Mr. Hood is there as my coach.
Not a big bench. Was there 11 of you?
There had to be, we were saying this earlier, there had to be people that were missing. Right. There's no way that you have a 7-person basketball team or even the baseball. We don't have enough to fill the team.
How many people were in the school? 12?
Well, these are rec leagues. It's Upper Moreland Little League and Upper Moreland Basketball Association. They weren't school teams.
Yeah.
I played sports growing up. Now, violations. Greg also, now he's a C. Well, look at him. He has CYO written all over him.
Yeah, man. Holy Innocents,
man.
Powerhouse.
So where was this?
This is Holy Innocents, Juniata Park, Philadelphia CYO.
You're as tall as the coach.
Yeah. Me on the left.
You're tall.
My buddy Vince on the right. Twin
VG,
Towers.
what'd you guys play, like 6 centers at a time?
Yeah,
well,
Jesus,
also
you guys
have
out
there
there
playing-
The guy sitting in front of me is also he's probably an inch taller than me, Teddy. He was our center. I was the
You
four.
guys ran out the.
Were you a stretch for?
No, definitely not a stretch four.
VG and the guy to the other side of the coach, the dude on VG's right, the guy sitting down, and then this little guy played point guard next to him. And that was you played 4 bigs.
Our point guard was
four bigs and a guard.
Our point guard is on the far right with those guns, Gary.
Yes, VG is to the right of the coach. If you're looking at it from our angle,
No, I'm
to
on
the
the
left.
Yeah, I'm on the left.
Yeah. So from our angle, left, but he's actually to the right of the coach. That picture, we're talking about 80s movies.
Yeah.
I mean, when I think of 80s movies, you think of the typical high school in 1984 with the lockers and the bad cafeteria.
Yeah.
That's what that picture looked like right there.
Yeah, we were powerhouse. St. Anselm's, Feltonville gave us a hard time. But we beat
is that
them in
right?
the playoffs, yes. Oh, and Ascension High School, they had a woman, well, a girl, because she's 13. Teresa Tunney, I think. She was a powerhouse center, man. She was tough.
Have you looked her up on Facebook and try to reconnect over the years?
Nah.
Okay.
She was tough. She was tough. She was
All
tough
right.
out.
Since you were late, we're late, so get out of here. There he is, Violations Greg, coming up on the Anthony Gargano show today.
It's good to see you drinking Sunkist soda. You're tapering off the caffeine a little bit.
I haven't had an energy drink in
There's caffeine
over a
in
week.
Sunkist, though, isn't it? I think it's one of the few oranges with caffeine
Well, it's
in
the
it.
zero, so there's just probably cancer-causing agents in here. But
good work by you.
whatever. Thank you. Violations Greg, everybody. Our parlay of the day is coming up. BetParx Parlay of the day coming up right after this. Don't you go anywhere. Be there or be square. Do people still say that? Be there or be square? Probably not. TrueMark Financial. Listen, they know your goals at TrueMark. They want to hear from you. TrueMark is definitely TrueMark Credit Union. TrueMark.com/PHLY. As a customer, I can tell you the difference between going into TrueMark and going into the cookie cutter bank is quite a difference. And not that the cookie cutter banks don't have nice people that work there or whatever else, but it just feels like if I walk in there and I have a question, they almost want me to ask them a question at TrueMark so they can serve you better. It really is. It's like a family. Mary Ellen at the Trooper location in Audubon. Donna, who has been her secondhand woman for many, many years. They've worked together for 16 years. It's a pleasure every time I have to go in there. And you don't have to go in a lot because of mobile banking and things like that. But you know what? And you know what they have there? They have what do they call it? The coin arcade. They took these out of a lot of banks where you can pour your loose change in there. And instead of getting ripped off at the grocery store where they take a percentage of it and then you need to use it at the grocery store, no, you actually get the slip and you deposit it right into your bank account. But TrueMark Financial, I'm a business customer. I have a personal savings account as well, but I'm a business customer. And when I opened up the business account, it's the first business account that I've ever had, opening up a small business. And they walked me through everything. I walked in there. I'm kind of embarrassed not knowing what I needed to do it. And they're like, okay, well, here's what you need to open up the business account. Bam, bam, bam. We can probably get some of this stuff for you online. Let's check it out. So they took such great care of me. That's why you go there. TrueMark.com/PHLY. TrueMark.com/PHLY. Say hello to Mary Ellen if you go to the Audubon location. All right, baseball's back. We got a 4:05 start today. How about individual player performance, like player hits, home runs, RBI, strikeouts, and much more? The BetParx Sportsbook and online casino app has you covered. So, listen, maybe it's not Philadelphia baseball or other pro baseball, but there's always other ways to win with BetParx Sportsbook and online casino app. It's the only app I would ever recommend to bet on sports and to play all my favorite casino games right in the palm of your hand. This is live dealers. This isn't some fugazi stuff, all right? Blackjack, roulette, craps, poker, hot online slots like Cash Eruptions, 88 Fortunes, and Cleopatra, all right? How about from your favorite streaming shows, Walking Dead slots, Squid Game, Breaking Bad, Peaky Blinders. Wherever you are, you can get your favorite classic casino games, and new users get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. Go to BetParx.com, download the app right now, and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. You must be 21 and in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParx. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParx. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Hooah! We are back, and we will have our parlay of the day coming up here in a second. Phil's 4:05. Weather's supposed to be nicer today. I believe we're not going to be in the 40s, and it's still not grow. All right, so 61 degrees by first pitch and not windy. It has been miserable. 81 degrees on Saturday, everybody. Yeah. All right, that's good. Let's do our BetParx Parlay of the day. All right, so Tyler, last night I actually made a bet on a game that's not happening until Saturday, but it didn't matter because your leg of the parlay was incomplete.
Yeah, so I took the Astros and the Cardinals no-run first inning, and the Astros promptly went base hit, RBI to open up the game. So, it didn't last very long. Steven Matz gave up a run in the first. So
listen, we've lost 2 in a row. So we got to get off the schneid. And give us what you're getting off the schneid with today. There.
Yeah, so I am going to go to a bunch of afternoon games. I love Thursday games. Thursday baseball is one of my favorites, even though it's not as good as the weekend. But I love Thursday baseball because it's a lot of afternoon games. I'm going to go to the finale of the White Sox and A's series. The A's have taken the first 2 in this one. I am going to go to the total runs in this one. And BetParx has the line at 8. I'm actually going to buy it down a little bit to 7.5 because I'd like that extra half a run just in case, and it still gives me at 7.5 minus 124. The White Sox and the A's combined in their first 20 some odd games have gone over that number in each of their individual games, a combined 21 times. Gone over 7.5. 2 pitchers today going on the mound with 4.24 ERAs to begin the year. I think you might see some runs scored in this one. I'm going to take the over 7.5 in the A's and White Sox game and buy it down by a half a run.
That's minus 124.
Minus 124.
All right. I did this with the Phillies the other night, and when I said they're not losing the game, it's Chris Sanchez on the mound today. Jordan Hicks is going for the Giants, and Jordan Hicks didn't have a great season last year. He didn't look great. He hasn't looked good so far this year. So I don't know if he's cooked or whatever, but I'm a big believer in Chris Sanchez, and Phillies this splits the series. He's just a better starting pitcher. So I'm going to take the Phils. They're pretty significant favorites, minus 175. But listen, I think they're going to win it. So I will take the Phils at minus 175. And this will get us, let me see, plus 186 for a $50 bet. We're plus 83 on the season now, Tyler. Wager 50 to win 93.
Okay.
50 to win 93. All right. There you go. Take the Phillies on the money line and take the over 7.5, you said?
Yep. There
you go. All right. That's our BetParx Parlay of the day. And then you look at the Phils after this. So you have the Marlins, which is like, all right, this is when, and again, the Phillies can make the playoffs just if they beat up on the lesser teams, right? Because you're gonna play a lot of teams that are clearly inferior to you. And when you have starting pitching like the Phillies do, you should be able to just, for the most part, win most of these series based on that. So the Marlins are in Philly for a weekend set. But then, do you know who's coming up next week there, Tyler Zulli?
I believe the Cubs at the end of the week.
At the Mets.
That's right.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is the 1-10er, and that's Zach Wheeler, David Robertson, and then it's an off day. And I think they have off on Thursday, and then the Cubs come into town. Or no, they're in Chicago.
They're in Chicago.
Chicago
because they've got the classic Wrigley Field Friday afternoon 2:20 game.
Love it. We'll talk more about Wrigley Field next week, but it's still too early. I was in Wrigley the year of went to see Phillies Cubs play. It was the year before COVID, so it was the week leading into Memorial Day. So I think it was like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was back working on Friday of Memorial Day weekend. And we were at Chickies and Pete's. We were doing the thing for Chickies and Pete's at the Farley Plaza where Pete pays for the tolls from 5 to 6.
Well done, John, by the way. May 21st through the May 20th through the 3rd. It was a 4-game set, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yep.
Good memory.
And it's never been the Wrigley. It's an amazing experience. But it was just everybody, the local said, and my buddy Brian Haddad works out there in radio, it hadn't been warm enough to wear short sleeves yet until that week when we were there. So the temperature actually broke, and everybody was outside in Chicago. I had such a good time. It was amazing. But Chicago in April is not very warm. So every year I look at it and I'm like, all right, is this the year where I go back? Like, I want to take my kids. My wife has family in Chicago, and it's like, all right, we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. This was not the year. But anyway, this is going to be the Mets are, the Mets, after a slow start, the Mets are in first place, even though they have similar offensive numbers and similar numbers in general. So this is one of these early season measuring sticks. We'll probably talk about it on Monday, and hopefully the Phillies are rolling a little bit. They get rolling on the Marlins. This is going to be one of these anxiety series against the Mets, because you remember how the season ended last year with the Mets, and they kind of had that spice to them last year, and very, very sexy pick for Phillies fans to say, hey, the Mets come back down to earth this year. Okay, we'll see. But looking ahead, that seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, for everybody out there that's watching on TV, we appreciate you. Xfinity, Roku, Samsung Plus. Head on over to allphly.com to watch the rest of the program, because we're officially in overtime. And in overtime, I'll just mention this because I hadn't put it out there yet today. PHLY Daily, Rich Hoffman Jr. You get it at allphly.com. Everything you need to know. It's the Philadelphia sports page. It's like the old daily news that you would buy, and you can't wait to dig into it. In the back cover, you flip it over, and there's so much good stuff. That's what Rich does for you every morning, sent directly to your email. All right? Everything. Tyler's Phillies recap in 60 seconds. Recap of the game. All your Eagles news that you need. Everything that's happened over the course of the day on the network. Everything. Ton of draft coverage in this one right here. Just really, really good stuff. Can't say enough about it. And by the way, it's free, so why wouldn't you do it? allphly.com to get that. Sign up. Bang. Sign up to be a diehard. Limited time offer, $36. Get you a free t-shirt like the Mitch Koffamania That's available right there. You get access to our Discord lounge. That's where you can talk with. I mean, you can't talk to me because I'm not on this particular thing, even though I've tried. But become a diehard. Go to allphly.com to do that. Couple things before we get out of here. Even though Chubby Chaser Chase Daniel, he doesn't like Jalen Hurts, or he wouldn't start a team with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts makes the top 100 most influential people of 2025, according to Time Magazine. How about that? Do they even still have a Time Magazine? Or is it like Sports Illustrated?
I guess so. Online edition, maybe?
I think they still have the magazine. I've been to do dental offices still have magazines, or they don't even put them out there anymore?
Yeah, it's not.
Or
not
doctor's
very,
offices.
Yeah, not very frequently anymore.
Do you know why? Why they got whacked out after COVID, I think?
Because they're too expensive to make and nobody buys them?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm saying as far as the doctor's offices having them out, think about how disgusting
people
and
didn't want
dirty
to be
those
touching
things
them
are.
anymore. Yeah, that's true.
National Geographic.
I always think about, you know, the one little, when you go to a pediatrician, the one toy that's in every pediatrician's office, the one with like the little beads and it goes over and like you do the loop-de-loop and stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That's got to be the grossest thing ever, because it's like sick kids are playing with it like while they wait to see the doctor, right?
Yeah.
Runny noses and all that kind of stuff. That's got to be the nastiest thing in the world.
I can tell you two things for certain. My children don't touch anything in the pediatrician's office. That particular thing, that toy, no. Any book that's in there, no. You're not touching anything. And we're sanitizing as soon as we get out of the doctor's office. And the sticker bin, you are not reaching your dirty hand in there, because there's been other dirty hands that have been reached in there. You tell me which sticker you want and I'll grab it. And then we're going to sanitize afterwards. I
don't blame you. I mean, I as an adult, like when we take the baby to his appointments, I sanitize after I get out of there. And I don't really, I touch the table, right, to put him on the table. That's about it. And I'm like, nope, gross, I'm out.
Oh yeah, no, my pediatrician's office is clean. I'm not telling you it's dirty,
it's certainly clean, but
snotty, sneezy, disgusting children,
I'm good.
But we have another strep throat, but this was earlier in the week, so she's gonna have to get her tonsils out. It's 6 strep throats in a year. That's what they say.
That's crazy.
And she's got really, really big, like, she snores. So we already are supposed to do a sleep study to see if she has apnea, because you can hear it. She does. So I can't wait to get a 4-year-old's tonsils out. That's going to be a lot of fun. Coming up. Oh, yeah. Anthony Gargano. He's live, late breaking, and local right now. Switch on over to his show on our YouTube page. Also, tomorrow, Bill Matz will be here, as he's going to join us for the show. We'll kind of do it. Oh yeah, you have a.
I just found out we have a soundboard.
We do?
Yeah.
Play it early and often.
See, you know what's funny, John? You say that. I am so over soundboards since we were, radio. It's like that's all you do is play drops.
Right.
And like I'm so over, as a producer, so over soundboards. Like they make
overused.
Yeah. I think it gets overused at times.
So what I don't like in radio is when the weekend producer is using sounds from like a weekday show, because they like you're using the I don't like.
Sure. No, I know exactly what you mean.
You know what I mean?
So
like it's an overnight show.
It's a 2 to 6 staple, and you're using it at
and you're using
noon
our
on a Saturday,
soundboard on the weekend for a host that doesn't even have what clue it's doing it. It's like, no, it's not about you being a producer and wanting to use it. It's about the actual show. I agree with you right there. But yeah, I agreed, overused, probably a little bit overused. I'm a part of the problem with that. I kind of built that soundboard stuff up. All right, coming up, Anthony, we're back tomorrow, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We're live every morning at 8 o'clock. You can always watch us whenever you friggin' want to. Just check it out. Subscribe, like, comment on our episode. We appreciate it. Also, follow me on all socials, including YouTube, at John, Jon, Marks, Marks Media. Reach out and say hello to me. We'll talk to you tomorrow live at AM. See you.
We all silly like the mayor.